Hi guys, Mr. User Boss here, and this is going to be my unboxing and hands-on impressions of Minecraft PlayStation Vita Edition. So this has been out for a while, but it was sitting at home while I was at uni, so I've just come home now for the Christmas holiday, and now there's a ton of packages waiting for me, so yeah, this is one of them. So yeah, basically, let's just crack into it. So the case, as you can see, is really cool. I absolutely love the artwork on this. I think that they've actually done a really good job, and they've definitely improved it from the older editions. So I've never really been a Minecraft player myself, but seeing as this is the first portable variation of it aside from the not so great mobile version, I think that this might be my first chance to really sink my teeth into it. So aside from perhaps full PlayStation integration, this version of the game has everything we were hoping for. It has cross-save with the PlayStation 3 version, dual analog stick support, and online multiplayer play. So the cartridge itself looks pretty nice. I mean, it's got exactly the same artwork as the front, which is tending to be the case nowadays, but I really do like it, so no complaints here. Alright, so jumping straight in and past the relatively long loading screens, we are now ready to set up our own world. So as you can see, there are a variety of different texture packs, but I think those have to be purchased before you can actually use them, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm guessing, you know, all the standard default options are readily available. So, okay, so yeah, that is just a trial texture pack, so I think what I'll do is just use the default and see where we go. So having never really played Minecraft, this is still all new to me, so, you know, it's not like I'll be getting the same experience again. Right, so letting it load up, I actually think this looks really nice. I'm quite surprised. The frame rate seems to be really smooth. Okay, right, so there's clearly some juddering here. As you can see, when I jumped to start with, there was a significant frame rate drop. The frame rate isn't actually locked at 60, I think it's hovering generally around the 40 to 50 mark, because it does feel smoother than 30, but you can tell the difference. I mean, if you sort of look directly up at the sky, then it's definitely going at a smooth 60, but if you are looking on the sort of ground level, I think it stays around 40. I mean, honestly, I think I would prefer it if they just capped it at 30, because, I mean, more than the actual frame rate, it's the actual frame rate hiccups and drops which really sort of ruin the experience a little bit. So, in terms of the actual controls, it all seems to be working fine. I mean, this is a little bit of an issue with Minecraft itself and not this version of the game, but I really don't like the extremely high gravity that you have here. I'm guessing there's probably a way to change this if in your sort of creative modes or whatever, but it feels a little bit limiting. I mean, in a game all about creating, you should have slightly more freedom of movement, I think. So this is just sort of introductions with, you know, how to do all these sorts of crafting and joining together of elements and that kind of thing, which is all pretty cool stuff. And this is the survival mode of the game. I mean, there is a creative mode, as you probably already know, where you can just literally have all the resources you want and just build whatever you like. And I'm guessing once you've sort of had enough of the main story, that is what you'll resort to, or when you seriously want to build something and don't really want to go through all the effort of collecting the resources. But the survival mode is sort of the main mode of the game. So I'm kind of curious to see whether, like on the other versions of the game, you can actually adjust the graphical settings. I kind of hope you can, because then you might be able to sort of swap out some of the fancy bits for increased frame rates. Right, yeah. Okay, so if I disable the render clouds, that should give it a little bit of a boost. So we'll test that. Yeah, I think the situation is the same really. I think when you're looking up at the sky, the frame rate is very smooth. But again, it's not actually changed the frame rate on the ground, which is a little bit disappointing. I mean, I've already downloaded quite a few updates, and none of those have actually patched the frame rate, so I don't think it'll actually be fixed in the future. Not a deal breaker. I mean, if you're playing Minecraft just to play the game and build what you want, then it's no issue at all. Although the game is running at native resolution, especially when you hold it close up, there are quite a lot of jagged edges. I think that for a game with this kind of amount of draw distance, the resolution on the Vita screen is slightly limiting. Although, having said that, it doesn't look particularly bad just because of how the way Minecraft is meant to look. It's sort of quite a retro kind of game, and in that sense it doesn't really matter if the resolution is a little bit cramped. The music, the actual soundtrack itself, is coming through really nicely and is crystal clear on the PlayStation Vita speakers. I'm guessing this will also be the case on the original Vita speakers, because really I couldn't tell much difference between the two. So they've done a good job here. It doesn't actually sound compressed at all like a lot of ports have done on the Vita, So yeah, that's good to see. I mean, what kind of interested me with this game was the price it released at. So the actual retail price of this game was $12.99, which is unusually low for a new game. So I do realise this is an indie title, but considering the sort of depth on offer here, I'm almost sure that they could have got away with selling it for a full price release. I mean, I think that if this game, even if it was $29.99, almost all the people who were going to buy it would still buy it anyway. So yeah, I think there's a slight missed opportunity there, but nonetheless it's good for us consumers. So I mean, what I'm going to try and do is head to a really dense part of the game. I mean, what I'm trying to do is see if the frame rate chugs to a point where it's unplayable. So to be honest, I doubt that'll actually happen. I reckon that they'll have made sure that even in the most demanding spots, then it'll still run acceptably well. But let's just check. So I mean, it seems like some sort of rainforest here, pretty cool. And I kind of like how the animals you see are variations depending on whereabouts in the map you are. Like, for example, if you're in a rainforest environment, you'll see rainforest type creatures. So the size of the world does not feel noticeably smaller compared to that of the PlayStation 3, PS4 and even the PC versions. I mean, obviously you will see differences if you compare, but it just doesn't feel that bounded. I mean, a lot of the reviews I read kind of claimed that this becomes more apparent the more you use it, but at least on a first impressions basis it seems perfectly fine to me. In fact, the draw distances on this game are probably larger than those on any other Vita title. So yeah, that's definitely a plus. And obviously, I mean, it can be explained by the relatively poor textures, but that's obviously part of the appeal. Okay, so I suppose my first impressions are kind of mixed. I think that they've done very well getting the whole of Minecraft into the PlayStation Vita. I think that the graphics are good, the draw distances are really impressive. However, I really don't like the frame rate. I think especially in a game like this, all about creativity, it just sort of constantly bugs you. Online play is present, which is really nice to see, and there's a whole host of trophies to collect. Anyway guys, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more.